evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Manvita. Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, so we will be starting now the structure of the heart. Mm,
Bio. Stricter ma'am, bio.
okay, should I start now, children?
अरे मैम शोभी कौन फर्स्ट थी भाई
Okay, Manvita, Nandini, Manasvi, and Ronit turn on the video. I'll share my screen. Do let me know whether my screen is visible or not. Mm, mm, mm. Sure. Is the screen visible, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will be starting to discuss about the structure of the human heart. Mm, mm, mm. Today is 19. Okay, So this is the structure of the human heart. Can you see the screen, children? Can you see the diagram? Yes, Manvita, Ronit, Manasvi, Nandini. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, if you understand how the things are working, how the structure is, it becomes easy for you, to get it. Now, what we are going to do, one by one, I'll be guiding you, first of all, about the movement, how the movement is happening. Just see the chamber, first of all, right atrium, right ventricle, which I'm marking there are the chambers. Then left atrium and the left ventricle. These four are basically the chambers. Right atrium, they will be receiving the deoxygenated blood. The right ventricle, they will be actually pumping the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Then left ventricle, basically they will be pumping the oxygenated blood to the body. And then left atrium, they will be receiving it from the lungs. Now, how does it enter? It enters through this pathway, which I'm marking it with the blue. So this part, this vein is called as the superior vena cava. So you can see this is the arrow. From here, the impure blood is entering. Then it is going to the next part, next chamber, which is the right atrium. From here, it is going to the next chamber that is called as the right ventricle. That is how the movement is happening for the deoxygenated blood. Now, from the right ventricle, it is going to the next part, which is okay. So from the right ventricle, it goes actually into the lungs, but through the artery called as the pulmonary artery. So this is how the movement of the deoxygenated blood will be there. Superior from the superior vena cava, the deoxygenated blood will be entering into the right atrium. Once the right atrium gets full of the blood, it enters into the right ventricle. Now, when the right ventricle gets full of the blood, then it pumps the blood into the artery, which is called as the pulmonary artery. And then pulmonary artery will be giving the blood to the lungs. Now, the moment when the blood reaches to the lungs, then it becomes the oxygenated blood. So here, near to the pulmonary artery, the lungs will be there. So when it reaches to the lung, it becomes oxygenated. Now, the moment when it becomes oxygenated, it will now come back again through this vein called as the pulmonary vein. It will be entering again into the heart, which is called as through the pulmonary vein. Now, from the pulmonary vein, they enter into the chamber, which is called as the left atrium. Now, when the left atrium gets full of the blood, then they enter into the chamber, which is called as a left ventricle. Now, once left ventricle is blood, they will go to the next aorta. Now, aorta will be giving it to the body. And the moment when they reach the body, they again become deoxygenated. So that is how the entire cycle of it is going. So oxygenated, deoxygenated. Deoxygenated starts by the superior vena cava, then into the right atrium, then to the right ventricle, then through the pulmonary artery, it goes into the lungs. Once it reaches to the lungs, just a minute. Mm. Mm. Now, so once it reaches to the lungs, has to come back again in the oxygenated form. It will be coming back through the pulmonary vein. From the pulmonary vein, it enters into the left atrium. Then it will be entering into the left ventricle. And then again, it goes into the body through the aorta. So that is how the movement of the blood will be taking place. So in the flowchart form, if we need to write it, then it will be, first I'll write the deoxygenated. So deoxygenated blood Now, deoxygenated blood, it has to enter into the heart. So it enter into the heart by the superior vena cava. So superior vena cava is basically a vein through which they will be entering. Now from the superior vena cava, they will be entering into the chamber which is called as right atrium. So right atrium is the chamber. Now once the right atrium is full of the blood, they goes into the next part, next chamber which is called as the right ventricle. So right ventricle is again the chamber. Now, once the right ventricle is full of the blood, through the pulmonary artery, it goes into the lungs. Now, in the lungs, it becomes oxygenated. Am I clear, Manvita, Nandini,
Yes,
Manasvi,
ma'am.
Ronit, Jashvita? This is the easiest way to actually learn. So this diagram also after the class I will be sharing with you. Nothing to mug up, children. Just actually understand the movement. Just follow the arrows from where to where they are moving. So in a simple way, I have written it here now. Deoxygenated blood from the superior vena cava, they will be entering into the right atrium, then into the right ventricle, then into the lungs through the pulmonary artery. And once they reach into the lungs, they will be becoming oxygenated. But here, what happened in between these two, right atrium and right ventricle, there is a valve which is called as tricuspid valve. So through this tricuspid valve only, the valve will get open and the blood from the right atrium, it can go into the right ventricle. So that is how the movement will be happening for them. Now the second part, which is like the oxygenated blood. Now, in the case of the oxygenated blood, what happens? The lungs are the place where the blood has become oxygenated. Now, through the lungs, they will be entering again. The blood will be entering again into the heart through the pulmonary vein. So, through the pulmonary vein, the blood will enter into the heart. Now, from the pulmonary vein, it goes into the left atrium, which is a kind of the chamber. Now, once here the blood is full, they will be sending it to the next part, next chamber, which is called as the left ventricle, which is again the chamber. Now, once the left ventricle is full, they will be giving it to the aorta, and aorta is basically the largest artery. This is important for your one marker question. So aorta is the largest artery. Now, once it gives to the aorta, aorta will be sending it to the body where it becomes deoxygenated again. So that is how the movement is happening. Now here from the left atrium to the left ventricle, again there is a valve which is called as bicuspid valve. So through the bicuspid valve only, the blood will be entering into the. Am I clear, children, with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt? So write this two flow chart. Children, just make this two flow chart fast. Manvita, Jashvita, Manasvi, Ronit, and Nandini, make these two flow charts. Learn this flow chart. It will be very, very easy for you to answer than any kind of the question. So here they are the valve called as tricuspid valve. Here they are the valve which is called as the bicuspid valve. And this bicuspid valve, they are also called as mitral valve. So complete this, then we will be going to the next one. Is it done, children, with this flowchart?
Yes, ma'am.
Others, Ronit, Jashvita, Nandini, is it done? Pradeep, it is done?
Ma'am,
One
1 minute,
second.
ma'am.
Okay, okay, I'll just wait then. So if it is done with this, then go for the next one, which is about the oxygenated blood. Do let me know, children, once it is done.
Ma'am, complete.
Ma'am, completed.
Okay, now moving to the next one. Okay, before this, before moving to the next one, see, two parts we have discussed. One is for the deoxygenated blood, how it moves actually, and the another one is for the oxygenated, how it moves. So, what is happening in this way? The blood is actually entering twice in our body and leaving the heart twice. That is the reason this whole process is called as double circulation. So one time what they are doing, they are entering, they are bringing the deoxygenated blood like superior vena cava through the superior vena cava. From there, they are bringing it to the right auricle, right ventricle, then pulmonary artery, then to the lungs. So this is the first time when the blood is entering and then leaving, right? So it is entering and then leaving. The second time now, again, they are coming back. The blood is coming back through the pulmonary vein. From the pulmonary vein, which is the, which will be the left atrium, then from the left atrium to the left ventricle, then to the aorta, and then to the body. Now, again, what is happening? It is entering. So it is entering here and then leaving to the body. So that is how twice actually blood is entering and leaving. It is basically called as the double circulation. Am I clear, children, why it is called as the double circulation? Because twice the movement of the blood is happening. One time they are entering and the other time they are exiting. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
So in the examination, they ask about this. that why they are called as double circulation. So you have to explain about both the things, that once the blood, deoxygenated blood is entering the heart and then it is leaving the heart. Then second time again it is entering into the heart and then leaving the heart. That is why it is called as double circulation. Now, if I have to draw the diagram like this to explain the same thing, it will be like this. So what is happening here? This side we have the body and this side we have the lungs. As I told you, the movement will start from here, the deoxygenated blood here, then it goes into the lung like this. So superior vena cava, this is the superior vena cava, sorry. Then right auricle, right ventricle, and then into the lungs. So this is the first circulation which is happening. Now, second circulation from the lungs, it is oxygenated into the left auricle, left ventricle, then they will be going again to the body through the aorta. So that is how it is the double circulation, twice entering and the leaving of the blood through the heart. Okay, children? Manasvi, am I clear? Nandini, Manasvi?
Ma'am, once can you
Pardeep,
show the diagram, ma'am?
which diagram you wanted to see?
The heart one which you draw. No, ma'am, the first.
Which one?
The heart diagram, ma'am.
Okay, this is that is on the first page. This one?
Last one, ma'am, which you
Okay,
draw.
last flowchart form, basically, that is. Wait. This one?
Yes,
Okay. But here, keep in mind, deoxygenated blood should be always in the dotted lines. So deoxygenated blood always has to be in the, not in the continuous arrow, it has to be in the dotted one. Okay. So this is how we have to actually make the arrow. This is the deoxygenated, for the deoxygenated blood, and the straight arrow if we are making, then it is for the oxygenated blood. So though I have used a different color, I can make the continuous, but you will be using only the pencil to draw it. So for that reason, you have to actually differentiate by the dotted lines for the deoxygenated and by the continuous line for the oxygenated one. So should I go to the next page now? Nandini? Yes, Nandini, can I go to the next page?
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now the next one is about the valve. Yesterday, though, we discussed what is the functions of them. They basically prevent the backflow of the blood. So if the valve are present, like I told you, there will be the bicuspid valve, tricuspid valve will be there. So they are present there in between the chambers so that the blood does not go back. So to prevent the backflow of the blood, they are present. So basically, four types of the valve are there. Four types of the valves, which are, the first one is the tricuspid valve. The first valve is called as the tricuspid valve. The second one is called as the pulmonary valve. The third one is called as the mitral valve, or it is also called as bicuspid valve. And the last valve which is present, that is called as the aortic valve. Now, tricuspid and mitral valve, I showed you here. Let me go back again. This is basically the, I'll just mark it with the green. This is a tricuspid valve, which is present here, the tricuspid, and this one is the bicuspid valve. Apart from this, the two another valve will be there, which is called as the pulmonary valve. That pulmonary valve will be present here. And the port valve, which is called as the aortic valve, that is present here. So like this, the four valve are there: pulmonary valve, aortic valve, tricuspid valve, and the bicuspid valve. So one by one, we will be discussing where are they present and what is the function of them. When we talk about the tricuspid valve, they are basically located between the right auricle and the right ventricle, or I can say right atrium and the right ventricle. So in between these two chambers, the tricuspid valve will be present. Now, what do? They will be actually preventing the backflow of blood. So they do not allow the blood to go back. So actually all the valves will be doing the same function. So we'll just write the location about them. The second one is the pulmonary valve. So pulmonary valve will be present, or they will be located between the right ventricle and pulmonary artery. So between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery, the opening which is present, or the valve which is present, that is called as the pulmonary valve. The third one which is present, they are called as the mitral or the bicuspid valve. So the mitral or the bicuspid valve, if I talk about the location, they are located between the they are located between the left atrium and left ventricle. Left atrium and left ventricle. So that is how their position will be. And the last valve which is present is the aortic valve. So aortic valve will be located, it will be located between the left ventricle and aorta. So that is how the four valve will be there. So pulmonary tricuspid valve will be present between the right ventricle and right auricle. Pulmonary valve will be located between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. Bicuspid valve will be located between the left atrium and the left ventricle, and the aortic valve will be located between the left ventricle and the aorta. So largest artery is the aorta, largest vein is the inferior vena cava. So complete this and then I'll be showing you a video. Is it done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Others? Now I'll show you one video. Just a minute. I'll stop sharing the screen and then. Pardeep, have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any kind of doubt in this?
No, ma'am. This is I already listened to this in like school, so it's just revision.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. So let me show a video. So this is the video.
Did you have breakfast this morning? Did you ever wonder after you eat breakfast and your food is digested, how is that glucose getting transported around your body? Or as you take a breath in, how does that oxygen get transported around? Or when you exhale, how does that carbon dioxide get transferred out? Are these only questions I pondered during breakfast? Maybe. But your circulatory system is absolutely fascinating and highly involved in this. In this short intro video of the circulatory system, we will mention some basics about its functions and trace the pathway of how blood travels through your heart. But please know before we get started, there are gigantic textbooks on the circulatory system itself. So obviously this video is just an intro. We're going to first talk about blood, the medium of how we transport glucose and gases. As we mentioned in our body systems intro video from many years ago, there are some misconceptions. Human blood is red, and always red, although the shade of red can vary based on how much oxygen is in the blood. Veins and arteries are often drawn in diagrams as blue or red to show whether they have lower or higher concentrations of oxygen. But that's just how it is used in most diagrams. It doesn't mean the blood or the veins or the arteries are actually that color. Veins that you see under your skin may look blue or green, but that involves the way they appear under the skin, and the reason for this would make a great physics topic, but I digress. Human blood has a lot of functions. It maintains a certain pH, temperature, osmotic pressure. All of this is very important for homeostasis. It transports things like hormones, nutrients, and gases, and it's made up of different components. One component includes plasma, the liquid portion. Water, proteins, salts, lipids, you'll find them in this liquid portion of blood known as plasma. Another component includes cellular components. This means red blood cells, which do the transporting of gases, white blood cells, which can fight